I was fortunate to get any roles at all, because if somebody asked for a tall redhead to come in and audition along with 500 other tall redheads, not because of any nobility on my part, but just my naive unwillingness to compete, I would help the other gals run their lines waiting to go in and read rather than taking care of myself, you know. Never had I the thought, this role has my name on it, by God, I'm going to get it. Never had those thoughts. Somebody struggling with the lines, I'd say, would you like me to help you? Then she'd go in and bag the part. But in spite of that, I was a regular on a series called The Girl with Something Extra, starring Sally Field and John Davidson, where she could read his mind. I think it only lasted 1 year. I played John Davidson's secretary, and there was potential, they said, for more of a role by the time the second season rolled around, but the show didn't continue. I starred in one movie because I was tall, called Big Mo, later re-released as Maury, I think. It was a true story about a basketball player named Maurice Stokes, whose best friend, a basketball player named Jack Twyman, helped him through a crippling paralysis. Jack Twyman, being a tall basketball player, was married to a tall wife, and that's how I got the role. So suddenly I had a co-starring role in a movie. I did a couple of other spots in little films, or little spots in important films. I played a reporter, and by then I kind of was one, so it was typecasting, in something called The Fortune that starred George C. Scott. And I remember walking up a sidewalk to the open door where George C. Scott opens it and says hello to the reporters. I'm one of the reporters. Well, at that time, I was working daily in Hollywood doing a morning news show. The door opened. I'm nervous as a cat, knowing I'm going to be meeting the great George C. Scott. And before the cameras rolled, George C. Scott looked at me and said, "Hello, Stephanie." He evidently watched the morning show that I was doing. Well, I was so flabbergasted that I wept. And so we had to let Stephanie get control of herself before we took the small scene. Basically, it was, "Hello, Mr. So-and-so, tell us about this." And then I was gone. I was done for the day. A couple of other little pieces in movies, but nothing really to remember.